All right, so we're working on, we're starting our back take module, our arm drag / back take module. We're spending about 6 weeks, we might even spend 8 weeks on this, depending on how enthusiastic you guys seem about it. There's a lot of stuff that we can cover that relates to this topic. So if you kind of think back to the modules we've done before, whether it's the arm bars or the kimuras or even our, we start looking at sweeps and stuff like that. We're always thinking about getting to the back from any position we're attacking from. And that's not always the case for every kind of style, but for me, that's kind of where my funnel is. No matter what position I'm in, I'm thinking I want to get from here and eventually get to the back. I'm always trying to just kind of narrow it down so I end with a rear naked choke. Right? So if I'm playing guard, I'm thinking I want to sweep, I want to pass, I want to get mouth, I want to get a turn, I want to take their back, I want to choke. So that's always in my head, that big roadmap. So I'm always pushing towards that direction. Since I have somewhere to go, it's a little bit easier to keep my momentum going. As I threaten stuff and this position changes, other submissions open up along the way. So I might get halfway through my funnel and the fight will end, that's fine. A lot of times I go all the way to the rear naked choke. So today, before we start talking about ways to take the back and ways to set that transition up, we're going to talk about how to maintain the back. Because it's a big part of feeling confident and feeling, it's a big part of attacking that position is knowing that you're going to have a lot of control there once you get there. A lot of people get really frustrated with the back because they get there, you do all this work to get there, and they watch the seatbelt, and then they get rolled off, they end up back in guard, they're like, well, that was stupid, I should have just stayed in mount or whatever. So we're going to work on maintaining the back, and that way you start racking up a lot of time on these really kind of key movements. How are you, Mike? Let's just turtle up, actually. So we're going to start in this position, so I have one hook in. It's a nice deep hook. Notice how my knee's on the mat. I'm not just kind of hanging out like standing here. I want to get this hook threaded all the way deep between Mike's legs so my knee and my shin are on the mat. Now from here, I'm setting my seatbelt. So I'm going to go in front of the near shoulder and under the far arm. Now when I grab that seatbelt, I'm always grabbing my top wrist with my bottom hand. So I'm covering that up. We'll talk about why in a second here. So this is my basic position. A lot of back take maneuvers, a lot of back take setups. And in this position where I have one hook in and I got a seatbelt. So the common mistake here is a lot of people start trying to fight this hook on this side. Okay, it can be really difficult because as soon as I get my first hook in, Mike's grappled a little bit before he knows what's up. He's gonna fill this pocket up, and then I start kind of coming here trying to dig this foot in. My head starts coming forward. Yeah, I start kind of getting too high, and I start losing my position again. So it's a lot easier to fight for that second hook when I can use the mat as a tool. So to use the mat as a tool, I got to get Mike on the ground. I'm here, got the first hook in, boom, seatbelt, grab. So I'm going to lock up nice and tight. I'm going to keep my head tucked here too. That's a really tough lesson to learn. When you hang out here, you got your head up, Mike does like a really hard forward roll, and your face is what stops you. That's a bummer. That's why I'm a little ugly. So we're here. Tuck my head nice and tight, so that way if Mike does roll, I can kind of hang out with him. So now in this position here, the foot that's between his legs, I'm going to dig my toes into the mat. We'll look at that in a second. I'm digging those toes into the mat, I'm tucking nice and low. I'm going to push forward with my leg and then roll over my shoulder here. I'm going to collapse this side. I'm going to go forward first. Here, and then pull Mike over. Now in this position, we're going to work on setting the hook here in a little bit. We're going to focus on the roll at first. Because a lot of people make the mistake of trying to, they go here, and they try to go sideways. And I start slipping off right away. Yeah, he just spaces, he starts popping in. So I got to push Mike's head forward like I'm trying to get him to somersault. And then I tuck the shoulder and go. So I push here. Lock the seatbelt nice and tight and control this position. Now it's very important that you get that momentum. I got this leg between. My foot's not flat. I'm digging those toes in. So I kind of push off with that foot. Another reason why it's important to have it nice and deep.
That's the middle leg?
That's the middle leg. Yes. Thanks, Cal. Any questions on that position?
No.
All right, let's give it a shot. Nice tight seatbelt, guys. Keep everything nice and low. Nice and tight.